First of all, the steel plane sections novices chase, you've got 3 in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult one, really. It could be 3 or none, to be honest with you. I'm quite tempted to run Mr. Whipped, actually. He's in very good form, and I can't see anywhere else to go. I don't normally like starting them over fences first time in Cheltenham. I think it can be tough on them, but yeah, he has done everything very well. He was a good novice over hurdles last year. Wenyerreadyfreddie, he won really well at Ascot, but to be fair, if you go back to his race before that, when he was second to Little Rockefeller, he was actually chucked in a novice handicap at Ascot, if that form was taken strictly. So that was good, but I'm not sure that's really for him quite yet. He might as well. Yeah, he's rated 145 now. It's actually where I'd like to leave him. So probably Cheltenham isn't the right place. And Jenkins, he's in the 2 mile around the 2.5. We'll have a look, see. He probably ought to run in one of them.
So is it dependent on ground as to which one turns up?
I think we're pretty safe in saying, Simon's saying there, that it's it should be good ground, and there's no rain forecast. I don't think it'll get quick, but it should. It sounds if we're in for a decent week, I think. So if we get that, it should be nice ground.
And just a word on Mr. Whipped, you say he could start off there. You see him as a 3 mile chaser in time?
You get 3 miles in time, but I don't like starting him over 3 miles the first time. Certainly not round there.
OK, well, the big race, the Bet Victor Gold Cup. You've got Ratherby, second last time we saw him to Mr. Whittaker at the festival. How is he?
That's good, yeah. I mean, he's taken a little bit of time to come to hand, but in the last fortnight he's sort of bloomed, and so it's always been the objective, and I think he's ready to go. Always
the plan to come here first time out?
Yeah, don't worry about first time out. I mean, some of ours are needing it a little bit, but I mean, I think he's just about got there, yeah.
And a quick word on the action on Sunday. Brain power for the Schlur?
That's the idea. I mean, we toyed with Altior, but I'm not going to be honest with you. We'll go straight to the Tingle Creek with him. He's very heavy there yesterday at Sandown, so I'm hoping they're not going to serve up the same sort of ground. Otherwise, I'll persuade them to switch it to Kempton. That'll be popular, won't it? No, he's in really good form. I mean, really, really good, great shape. So, you know, and Brain Power deserves a shot at something. So I don't think Altior needs a race 3 weeks before the Tingle Creek, so we'll do it that way around.
And looking at the Greatwood Hurdle, Verdana Blue, you say it could carry a penalty here, which makes it interesting.
She carries a penalty, full stop. She's got a £5 penalty for winning at the Elite Hurdle on Saturday. Now, the big question is, where is the penalty coming from? I mean, at what weight is she going to be? Now, the problem is, most of these races, and I don't know why, we've just checked on it, because most of these races will have a clause in it to say no penalty takes a horse's weight above 11 stone 12. Now that, for some extraordinary reason, so take the Ladbroke, if you like, chase in 3 weeks' time. We were thinking, and don't worry, we didn't get a £5 penalty for Terrafort yesterday. Actually, it was a £4 penalty. But if you remember, Whisper got a penalty for winning. So you've got to be very careful where you have your prep races for these races, because if the weights have come out, you really can't afford to win. Verdana Blue, yes, she won that Elite Hurdle really well, and she loves good ground. But this clause that says no penalty shall take your weight above 11 stone 12 is missing from this race. And I have just spoken to the BHA, and they're not sure why it isn't there, because we all expected it to be there. And so did they. So if the weights go up a fair amount at the moment, I reckon her penalty takes her to 11.11. But if 2 horses come out above her in the original handicap, she can go to 11.12 plus 5. Well, I won't be running her with 12 stone 3, I can assure you.
Would you have anywhere else in mind for her?
Nowhere, because I mean she needs ground, and you have to just wait and see.
And you've also got Charli Parcs in the race?
Yeah, he will run, yeah. That's the plan.
He's a horse that perhaps has frustrated you a bit down the years.
He has, but we used, I mean, you know, he ran in the Champion Hurdle. He's not been used and abused. I mean, he's a good horse in his own right, and he comes in here fresh and I think well, and you know, the sort of race he could be very competitive in.
And finally, just a line on Claimantakinforgan. You said we could see him on Sunday?
You might do. There's him and Jenkins in the 2 mile novice chase. We'll just see. I think it's a bit quick to come out with Claimantakin, but they wanted him put in, so he's in there just in case.